What's up, carp freaks, and welcome to another installment of Ask Pictures. Now, once again, I asked you to write in with your questions for me over on my Instagram and Facebook page, and you did so in your hundreds. There was so many questions this time round. It really was difficult for me to select a few to answer in this short space of time, but I have got some. And the first question I'm going to answer comes in on my Facebook page from Nick Buckley, and he asks, "Hi Mark, if you could give every angler one piece of advice regardless of ability, what would it be and how has it helped you catch carp?" Now, for me, there are two key factors when it comes to successful carp fishing, or any angling for that matter, and that's location, and equal importance for me would be casting. Now, I don't just mean in terms of accuracy, which is obviously crucial, but also the manner in which your lead is entering the water. If that lead's thundering in full speed, not being slowed down, that's going in with such an impact. It's sending shockwaves, vibrations through the water, and it's either going to spook everything that you've took so long to find. It's going to spook them, put them on edge, stop them feeding. Either way, it's going to have negative implications on your fishing. I mean, you can spend hours searching for carp, you find them, there's fish feeding there, here we go, happy days, make a cast, the lead thunders in full speed, it's game over, the job's ruined. Now, a lot of people have said to me that they've found fish, they know that they're on fish, they've casted them, but nothing's happened. And quite often they'll either blame bait, rigs, or whatever. And it's not, the majority of the time it is down to the casting. That the cast has gone in really hard, and it's spooked everything, put them on edge, and that's why they've not caught. Or it's just taken too many casts to get it in place. In those situations where you are moving on to fish, you've found fish, feeding fish, it has to go in first time. If that's taking you 2 or 3, 4 casts to get it right, then it's ruined. That's ruined. So that would be my one piece of advice: work on casting. I'm lucky I came from a match fishing background where you think how many times you're casting in a 5-hour match, and back then I wasn't using the clip on the reels, I was casting sort of freestyle every time, and accuracy had to be so precise. And just casting all the time in those matches and in pleasure fishing, you think how many times you're doing that in a day. That for me helped me massively, and I would advise anyone really, maybe sacrifice a day's fishing just to go out on the bank on a quiet lake where there isn't other anglers there, and just practice casting, because it will make a huge difference. So there you go. Okay, the next question comes in from Harry Sterling, also on my Facebook page, and he asks, "How often do you use your match fishing tactics in carp fishing? And do you feel being a match angler previously has given you a head start in carp fishing?" Well, I sort of answered some of this in the previous question in terms of my casting. But what also I think it has made me do is not to become complacent at all. Now, whenever I finish a session, I always think, how could I have caught more? That's what I always think. A lot of people can come away, they'll have a great session, they might catch whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish, I don't know, whatever, and think, yep, brilliant session, that's it, had 5 fish, did great. I'd be thinking, how could I have caught 6 fish? And that's how I always look at a session. I remember my best ever session over at Stannick Lakes, where I had, I think I had 9 fish in 48 hours, which for there is pretty good going. It bugged me. I thought, how could I have caught 10? Even though that was one of the best session, well, my best session ever on there. I think I did actually lose 1 fish in the weed, so I could have caught 10 by not losing that fish in the weed, I guess. But how could I have caught more? Even though I came away having caught plenty of fish, how could I have caught more? That's where I come away from a session thinking. Never being complacent, and I think in doing so, during your session, you never sort of sat back waiting for things to happen. You're always looking to make something happen, and at the end of it, you just sit back, analyse the session, thinking, what could I have done? What should I have done? And then you use that in your next session, and hopefully every time you go, you get better and better. Okay, so I've got another question on my Instagram page, this time from Nico_angler. And they say, "Hi Mark, quick question. Do you believe in the saying big bait, big fish? Me and my friend will be fishing a decent sized lake soon with a high percentage of double figure fish, but the biggest carp up to 28 to 30 pound. To target the bigger fish, do you agree with the bigger hook bait to target the bigger fish? Thanks in advance." And a love heart too. Okay. No, I don't always believe in that saying, to be honest. Now, I know when Harry and I were filming In Pursuit of Carpiness, the first one, we were over in a lake in Slovenia, and that had a lot of small fish in there, a lot of small fish. Now, to try and combat those small fish, I ended up fishing with double 20mm baits, triple 20mm baits, and they proved to be even more of a pain. Yeah, fishing big baits like that long with triple 20mm, we're still catching double figure fish. So I switched over to just a single 18mm bottom bait, maybe thinking that these fish, that they're so greedy, they see like a big mouthful of bait there and their eyes are bigger than the belly and they're trying to attack it. I switched over to a single bait, and that was an absolute game changer. Absolute game changer. All the fish we caught from then on were bigger stamper fish. Yeah, and it completely changed the session. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's true at all. If I was trying to select the bigger fish, I think the best way to do it really is by kind of sight fishing. If you're able to stalk the fish, able to get them feeding on the surface or set little traps in the edges, then that would be the best way really to select those bigger fish. So I've got another question here. This time it comes in on my Facebook page from Rich Whiting, who says, "Would you rather catch an English 60 or have your hair grow back?" Now, I thought this was a bit rich, really, coming from a guy whose hair looks like a nest of ginger pubes. But what? Well, but no. Well, I don't think my. Why are you laughing at? I don't think my slightly receding hairline has held me back in any way, and it's been a long time since I've caught a proper unit. So yeah, definitely catch an English 60. Okay, so here's a question. Now I didn't know whether to answer this or not, but it was a common occurring question. Quite a few people ask this, and also it's something I'm receiving messages about quite a lot, and it's something I've always sort of kept a bit private, almost like a secret, but I don't know, I guess the secret must be out. So anyway, this comes in from Big Acco over on my Instagram page, and he says, "Hi Mark, you obviously work out. How do you find time for it with the family and work, or do you do some sort of bankside workout?" No, I don't do any workout on the bankside. Yes, I do go to the gym, and it is quite hard for me to find the time. So how it would work for me, if I was going away filming for a few days or tutorials for a few days, I'd be up early on the first morning, be at the gym for 6 o'clock when it opens, work out for an hour, come back, shower, and then hit the road. The night before I go away, all my meals are prepped. I don't take any junk food fish with me these days, no biscuits, nothing like that. All my meals are prepped, and they're also weighed out, macros are counted. I know exactly how much protein, carbs, calories I'm having in every meal. It's a little bit obsessive, but that's the way I like to do things. I've always been a believer in, if you're going to do something, do it properly or not at all, and that's the way I am with anything really. And diet is hugely important. So yeah, that would be on my first day before I actually go away on filming or whatever. And then coming back from that, before I even come home, I would call in at the gym before I even go home, work out for an hour, smelling of fish and whatever else, work out for an hour, and then go home and then spend time with the family and whatever, and do all the family things. And then when I'm at home, then obviously I fit the gym in and around my family time as well. So yeah, that's how it works for me. And yeah, it's always been something I've kept a little bit under wraps. I don't look at myself like I don't look in the mirror and think that I even go to the gym really. So I've always been quite surprised that people notice it. Right, that answer that? You're laughing. Okay, it's time now for the winning question, and this comes in from Will X Meister over on my Instagram page. And they say, was there a moment in your fishing career where you realised that you have finally cracked every aspect of carp fishing, e.g. watercraft, feeling the lead down, baiting correctly, etc.? Looking forward to watching. Keep those paws high. Thank you. Okay, so the reason I picked this as a winning question, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier from my match fishing background, where I was never satisfied, always wanting more. You know, at the end of a session thinking, how could I have caught those extra fish? And for me, I'm always looking to improve. We are all learning. It doesn't matter how long we've been doing it. I mean, I've been an angler since I was 5-6 years old, carp fishing since I was 11 years old. To think that I know it all would be, well, it'd be wrong, and it would be naive. I'm always wanting to improve. I'm very lucky in that I'm surrounded by some very, very gifted anglers, and I'm able to kind of pick up all sorts of skills and tips off them, which I can then apply in my own fishing. Those people that think they know it all, think that they can't get any better at anything, whether it's rigs or baits or whatever, those anglers that think they know it all, they're going to get left behind. People who are hungry and eager to learn will overtake them and become better than them. And I certainly don't want to be one of those people. So well done there to Will X Meister. Great question. If you drop me a message on my Instagram page with your details, we'll get some CC More goodies out to you as soon as possible. Thank you to everyone who wrote in with your questions. We'll be asking for new questions very soon, and I'll see you again next time.